There was once a boy who had big dreams in his heart but a heavy chain around his spirit. That chain was laziness. Every morning he would tell himself, "I will start today." Yet as the sun rose higher, his promises faded into excuses. He stayed in bed longer than he should, skipped the tasks he needed to do, and let another day slip away. Deep down, he knew he had talent. He was smart, creative, and full of ideas, but laziness was stronger than his will. His parents watched with both love and worry. They reminded him again and again that life would not wait for him, but their words seemed like background noise. His teacher, too, saw the potential in him. Whenever he turned in incomplete homework, she sighed. Whenever he gave up too soon, she shook her head. She wanted to see him rise, but all she saw was a boy sinking under the weight of his own excuses. His friends, meanwhile, were moving forward. They studied harder, worked on their dreams, and pushed themselves. He could see them growing, achieving small victories, and smiling with pride. Yet when he looked at himself, all he saw was failure after failure. They were climbing a ladder, step by step, while he stood still at the bottom, not even reaching for the first rung. This comparison hurt him, but instead of acting, he buried the pain under more sleep, more distractions, and more wasted time. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Slowly, the boy began to realize the cause of his laziness. His grades dropped. His opportunities disappeared. When the teacher announced names of students who had achieved something special, his name was never on the list. He sat in the classroom, clapping for others, pretending to smile, but inside he felt broken. Each lost chance was like a stone added to the weight he carried inside. The boy began to feel ashamed. He avoided eye contact when his father asked about school. He shrugged when his mother reminded him to work harder. At night, he stared at the ceiling, knowing he was capable of more, but too weak to break free from his bad habits. This inner conflict was eating him alive. He hated laziness, yet he surrendered to it every single day. One evening, after failing another test, he came home and locked himself in his room. He looked at the paper with red marks all over it. His teacher's words echoed in his mind, "You can do so much better than this." For the first time, he felt the full weight of disappointment, not just his own, but also the disappointment of his parents and the wasted dreams he carried. Tears filled his eyes. He realized laziness had stolen something precious from him: his time, his progress, and his pride. In that painful silence, he asked himself a hard question: do I want to live my whole life like this? The answer scared him, because deep down he knew the truth: if he did not change, nothing would ever change. He would remain the boy with wasted talent, the boy who could have been great but chose the comfort of excuses instead. This was his breaking point. The moment that would soon lead him toward transformation. But before that transformation, the boy had to face his darkest truth: laziness had taken control of his life, and if he did not fight back, it would define him forever. The next morning, the boy woke up with swollen eyes and a heavy heart. But for the first time, something inside him felt different. He no longer wanted to be the prisoner of laziness. He whispered to himself, "Enough is enough." It wasn't a loud promise, but a quiet decision that began deep in his soul. At first, change felt almost impossible. Waking up early was a battle. Opening his books was a war. His mind begged him to return to comfort, but he pushed himself to stay. He started with the smallest of steps, making his bed as soon as he got up, spending just 10 minutes studying, and completing one small task before resting. These actions were tiny, but each one was a victory. And every victory gave him the strength to fight the next battle. His teacher noticed the shift. When he handed in his homework on time, she smiled, not because it was perfect, but because it showed effort. His parents, too, began to see the change. His father's eyes softened with pride, and his mother's words of encouragement felt warmer than ever before. The boy realized that the world was quick to notice effort, even before results. With each passing day, the boy grew stronger. He created a routine. He woke up early, studied with focus, and limited his distractions. He set small goals, 1 chapter a day, 1 essay a week, 1 new habit each month. Slowly, the mountain that once felt impossible began to look climbable. His friends who once raced ahead now stood beside him, surprised at his progress, and inspired by his transformation. But the journey was not without setbacks. There were days when laziness returned like a shadow, whispering in his ear, "Take a break, you can do it tomorrow." On those days, he felt weak again. But instead of giving up completely, he chose to fight back. He learned the most powerful lesson of all: discipline is not about never failing, it is about rising every time you fall. One afternoon, the school announced a competition, an event that required focus, preparation, and courage. The old boy would have laughed at the idea and walked away. But the new boy saw it as a chance to test his strength. He prepared day and night, using every ounce of discipline he had built. When the day came, he stood on the stage, nervous but determined. And for the first time, he tasted the sweet reward of hard work. He succeeded. The applause he received that day was more than noise. It was proof. Proof that he was no longer the boy chained by laziness. He had discovered a new power within himself, the power of discipline, perseverance, and belief. That power changed his life forever. From that moment, his story became a message. He realized that the enemy he once feared the most was inside him, and the greatest victory he had ever achieved was not over others, but over himself. Laziness had once stolen his days, but discipline gave him back his life. And so, the boy who had wasted countless hours became the young man who valued every single moment. He discovered that dreams do not come true by wishing, they come true by working. His journey was not just about better grades, or competitions, or applause. It was about proving to himself, and to the world, that no obstacle is stronger than a determined heart. The lesson is simple, yet powerful: laziness can destroy your future, but discipline can build it. If one boy can rise from failure, shame, and wasted time to find his strength, then so can you. The power is already inside you, waiting for you to take the first step.